July 2nd, 1505, a young law student named Martin Luther is walking back from his university through the German countryside when the sky turns black. A storm rolls in fast, and before he can find shelter, a bolt of lightning slams into the ground right next to him. The blast throws him down into the mud. Terrified, certain he's about to die and face a holy God he feels he cannot satisfy, he cries out to the patron saint of his father's people, Saint Anne, help me. I will become a monk. He lives, and he keeps the vow. But the terror that put him in the mud is only the beginning. Welcome to Lift Up Your Day, a 5-minute devotional, short stories with a biblical heartbeat. I'm Rodney and today, how one man's crippling fear of God became the spark that lit the Reformation. Martin Luther became a monk. He was a good one, maybe too good. He fasted until his body gave out. He confessed his sins for hours until his fellow monks were worn out from listening. He once said that if anyone could have earned heaven by being a monk, it would have been him. But none of that brought him peace, because Luther had one word that haunted him, and that word was righteousness. He read in Scripture that God is righteous, and to Luther that meant only one thing, that God is the perfect judge that punishes sinners. And Luther knew he was a sinner. So, the more he thought about the righteousness of God, the more he trembled, and later admitted that he did not love God. In fact, he hated him. He hated a God he could never please. Then came the night in the tower. Luther was studying the book of Romans, and he came to chapter 1, verse 17, the just shall live by faith. He read it again and again, and slowly the truth broke over him like the sunrise. Luther had always read God's righteousness as a sword that was hanging over his head, and now he saw something else. It was God's gift. A right standing handed by faith in Jesus Christ to the guilty. He said as if the gates of paradise swung open and he was able to walk through. The fear that had crushed him for years had finally lifted, and the man who hated God now loved him with everything he had. That discovery, one sinner finding grace in one verse, became the hammer that would crack 1,000 years of religious darkness wide open. Maybe you know Luther's fear. Maybe somewhere deep down you believe God is mostly disappointed in you, that you have to earn your way back into his good graces and you're always falling short. Hear that verse that set Luther free, Romans 1:17, the just shall live by faith. Not by your performance, not by your perfect record, by faith in the one who kept the record for you. The God you may be afraid of is holding out a gift, right standing with him. Bought by Jesus, offered to you and I free. You do not have to climb up to him. He came down to you. Luther spent years trying to satisfy God, and it nearly destroyed him. Then he stopped trying to earn what God was wanting to give. And that is the day everything changed. And that, friend, is how God lifts up your day.